Leadership is easy to evaluate in stability, clear data, predictable outcomes, structured timelines. Most executives appear competent in calm environments, but leadership is not tested in calm. It is tested when information is incomplete, time is limited, stakes are high, and consequences are irreversible. And under pressure, even experienced leaders begin to fail in predictable ways. Not because they lack intelligence, because pressure changes how the brain works. Under pressure, time feels shorter, complexity feels heavier, options feel narrower. The brain shifts from exploration to protection. Instead of asking, what is the best long-term decision, it asks, what reduces immediate threat. This shift is subtle, but it transforms strategy into survival. Pressure creates urgency. Urgency feels productive. Meetings accelerate, decisions tighten, language sharpens. But urgency often reduces depth. Speed replaces reflection. Action replaces understanding. Leaders begin solving the visible problem, while missing the structural one beneath it. Experienced leaders rely on pattern recognition. They've seen downturns before. They've handled crises. They've navigated complexity. Under pressure, they default to familiar templates. But no crisis is identical. What worked once may misfire now. Experience narrows interpretation. When expansion is required. In high-pressure environments, dissent declines, not because people agree, but because they hesitate. Time feels scarce. Conflict feels inefficient. Questioning feels risky. So conversations converge quickly. Alignment appears strong, but alignment formed under pressure often hides unspoken doubt. Pressure pulls the future into the background. Quarterly targets dominate. Immediate optics matter. Stakeholder reactions become central. Long-term consequences become abstract. Leaders know they matter. But urgency overrides weight. The organization solves today's discomfort at tomorrow's expense. Under stress, communication simplifies. Nuance disappears. Uncertainty is removed. Confidence is amplified. Leaders project stability. But internally, doubt increases. This gap between external confidence and internal uncertainty creates cognitive strain. Decisions become performative. Pressure increases the desire for control. More reporting, more oversight, more centralized decisions. This feels responsible, but it slows information flow. Frontline insight weakens. Bottlenecks form. The system becomes tighter and less adaptive. Fear does not look dramatic in leadership. It looks like caution. It looks like defensiveness. It looks like protecting what remains. Under pressure, leaders stop asking, what opportunity exists inside this crisis? And start asking, how do we avoid further damage? Opportunity thinking disappears first. When pressure rises, leaders commit publicly to a direction. They reassure investors. They stabilize teams. They defend strategy. But public commitment reduces flexibility. Changing direction later appears inconsistent. So leaders double down. Not because it's correct, but because reversal feels costly. Stress narrows perception. Signals that support the current decision become louder. Contradictory signals fade into background noise. This is not intentional bias. It is neurological. The brain filters for coherence. When overwhelmed, under pressure, hierarchy hardens. Leaders speak more. Others listen more. The emotional tone shifts. Challenge feels disrespectful. Debate feels dangerous. So silence increases. The leader appears decisive, but information quality declines. High-stakes environments amplify reputation risk. Leaders begin managing perception, alongside performance. Media response, investor confidence, internal morale, attention splits, decision-making weakens. When cognitive load increases. In crisis, action feels necessary. Movement reduces anxiety, but constant action without recalibration creates momentum in the wrong direction. Pausing feels irresponsible, yet without pause, reflection disappears. Poor decisions under pressure rarely show immediate consequences. They compound quietly. Talent leaves, trust erodes, strategic flexibility shrinks. By the time stability returns, structural damage remains, and leaders often attribute decline to the crisis, not to their response to it. They slow down before accelerating. They separate urgency from importance. They protect dissent. They demand contradiction. They ask, what are we missing? They acknowledge uncertainty, without projecting panic. They avoid public overcommitment, until clarity improves. Most importantly, they understand that pressure distorts perception, so they build systems that compensate for it. The hardest discipline under pressure is restraint, not silence, not inaction, but controlled thinking, resisting emotional momentum, resisting narrative comfort, resisting premature certainty. Leadership rarely collapses from incompetence. It erodes under stress. Pressure does not reveal character alone, it reshapes cognition, and the difference between organizations that survive crisis and those that weaken through it is not confidence. It is clarity under constraint, the ability to think when thinking is hardest.